acid in the body. So that means they have to metabolize this kind of fluid to get this process. Next one, please. This is another report of the generation of the Naga chicken. Next one. And so this cattle is myostatin mutant cattle. The myostatin mutant cattle have double muscle, which can cross muscle so much faster and larger. This is naturally selected cattle. Next one, please. Next one. Next one. Next one. So in the similar to the genus Naga chickens, we also try to make the generate the myostatin Naga chickens by using the CRISPR system. Next one. Next one. Next, please. Next, please. Actually, this is a phenotype of the myostatin Naga chickens. This is the rest of the chickens, the wild type, and compared to the wild type, you can see the myostatin Naga chickens is much more growth muscles, the breast muscles, and all kinds of the muscles grows in the myostatin Naga chickens. Next one, please. As you can see, actually, growth rate is significantly increased in the myostatin Naga chickens. Interestingly, in the wild chickens can show that the little bit decreased average daily gain after 12 or 13 weeks. However, in the case of the myostatin Naga chickens, average daily gain is constantly maintained even after 12 and 13 weeks. Next one, please. You can see the weight of the breast muscles and the legs significantly increased Naga chickens, and it's interestingly, abdominal fat is significantly decreased in the myostatin Naga chickens. That means myostatin Naga chickens utilize the extra fat to make their muscle growth. Next one, please. Actually, we also analyze the muscle types in the myostatin skin, but I skipped the slide. Next one, please. Next one. Next, please. Next slide, please. This is a very scientific data, so I skipped this kind of the slide. The next one, please. And as you can see, that the myostatin Naga chickens has much more the increased number of the muscle fibers compared to the wild type. From the hatch to the 18 weeks is reached the sexual maturation. Next, please. So you can see the myostatin Naga chickens is much more the muscle growth compared to the wild type of during the average age of the chickens. Next one, please. Actually, by using the CRISPR-Cas systems, right, over the transgenic system, we can increase the productivity of the livestock animals. Next one, please. Next, please. So in Japan, 2 years ago, actually the CRISPR-Cas mediated gene knockout agriculture products has been approved for human consumption. Next, please. Next, please. And also in United States, also the gene edited cattle get approval from the US FDA for human consumption, human food. Next, please. Also, the last year, Japan government is very aggressive to approve and utilize some of these gene edited technologies. They also approved this kind of gene edited fishes for human consumption food. Next, please. In the last section, I briefly talked about that. We also have some kind of the technology to immortalize cell lines, which means we can grow cells in vitro continuously. Next one, please. Next one, please. Next one. So by using the immortalized technical platforms, we now try to use these of the immortalized cells to generate the animal vaccines. Next one, please. Next, this is one of the examples in the vaccine production in the pig. Next, please. Next. 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 So in this study, we first generate the immortal cell lines, continuously cross the in vitro system, and we also have the modified the genetic modification by using the transgenic system or the gene editing system. Next one, please. Next. Next, please. And we screen out the highly expression of the target molecules on the cell membrane to vaccine production. Next one. So anyway, we finally they get the specific cell line, so we can utilize the for animal vaccine production in this experiment. Next one, please. So in this experiment, we first isolated immortalized the cell lines from the any tissues, any animals, and then we also manipulate the genetic modifications by using the transgenic or the genetic system to improve the produce the high number of the vaccines in the base of the cell system. Next one, please. I think this is my last slide. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. Yeah.
That's all presentation from Profesor Tai Sultan. Mungkin ada yang mau jadi eksperimen berikutnya supaya untuk semakin besar menangkap. Yeah, let's invite the next speaker, Professor Wong Kim Kyung, PhD from Department of Finance of Big Data Research Center, Asia University, Taiwan. Please give a big applause to him. Your time, 15 minutes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the president, the dean, head, and all the professor, thank you for your invitation so that I have a chance to come over here. I enjoy coming over here so much. Is the Advance in Decision Science, also Q1 Scooper Journal. I think we'll make it SSI soon, so you may want to submit to our journal. Okay. Next, I got got scholarship. Thank you for Wisconsin. Keep this scholarship there, so I can get my PhD in Wisconsin. Okay. Thank you. Next. You want me to talk more about the Chinese universities? Next. Now, the master degree is they give it free, so I don't have master degree. They also ask me whether I want to get MBA. I say I don't want. I don't want. Free. They say free. Just take a few courses. I say no. I better write some more paper. So doing my PhD, I got 8 paper there, all the theoretical paper. I put this is my talk. Why people reduce their food waste? I think is everybody should reduce. Don't waste food. That's important. Food is many people know food to eat. We should not waste food. I never waste food. I take everything I have to take. Okay. Is the psychological power factor and the financial power the factor. That's what what we are studying next. So in a social point of view, we do this is everyone know we should not waste food, but in reality many people waste food. So in order to see what's the real situation, we do a survey. You can have your hypothesis, but we don't know what's going on. So whether to test your hypothesis in this situation, we do a survey. So we got a survey. We found that this is not our survey. This is we found that 18 million people are going hungry or being this no food. This not enough nutrition. Okay. It was also found that nearly 1/3 of globally produced food is wasted. This is a contradiction. At the one hand, many people are hungry. At the other hand, many people waste food. This is ridiculous. So we want to see how to improve the situation. So that's what we try to do. As academic, we try to tell people what's the situation. We recommend people what to do. So according to some global statistics, the amount of food that is wasted each year is approximately 1 trillion, while in developing countries estimated nearly 310 billion. It's still a lot of money. It's even in a developed country also waste a lot of food. This is ridiculous. In one country they waste food, I think is we expected. Even developing country they waste food. Next. Okay, sustainable. Food waste is a significant global issue. This is an important issue. That's why we study. Thus, bringing consumer to participate in waste reduction practice through changing behavior is important. Okay. However, stockholder, okay, participation is required in order to adopt this sustainable initiative. Okay. Due to the complexity of human behavior, the most common theory, the theories of planned behavior, seems to be unable to explain the emotional aspect of consumer behavior. Okay, so you may want to develop some other theory. Okay, I mean, I also like to invite you, anybody want to join me to develop the theory. How to develop a theory to explain the situation. Recently I developed a few new theory. I've been developing some new theory in the past 40 years. Now I'm in this year I already developed a couple new theory. Some are published. This I haven't developed. So if any of you are interested in developing this theory, email to me. We work together. Hopefully we will get some significant impact to the globally, and people start to not to wait for. Okay, next. This is important. Your contribution very important. Email to me. If you're interested to develop the theory. You need high power mathematics. It's okay. Don't worry. Mathematics is okay. And my friend also have very good mathematics and statistics. So this is important. High time. So we wait for in the past 1,000 years. High time we develop theory to explain the situation and tell people not to waste food. Join me in this historical moment. Okay, so during the this food consumption and waste, negative emotion is an important psychological aspect in measuring food waste reduction behavior. Okay, this is the emotion, negative emotion. So when you waste food, you feel bad. If you waste food, you feel good. That's horrible. You waste food, you don't feel good, right? So at least there's hope. If you waste food, you feel good. Is no hope. You waste food, you feel bad. There's still chance to change your behavior or change other people's behavior. So this is important factor. When you waste food, you feel bad. This is very important. Lack of consumer food waste awareness about the consequence of its effect the environment is in development country. Also, you don't know you waste food also affect the environment. You not only make people no food, make people hunger. Also, you affect the environment, but people don't know. So, it's awareness is important. Consumer awareness of the consequence of food waste is considered important as it is required changing the attitude and behavior of consumer. Okay, so all these are important factors. There may be some other important factor. Think about it. So if you get some other important factor, we go to include in the theory. Join me in the development of theory is important historical moment. Next. Okay, so waste reduction behavior. Okay, this is the behavior. I'm doing a lot of behavioral, develop a lot of some behavioral theory, but have not doing. So this is the waste reduction behavior. How to reduce and recycle. Okay, 3 hours, 3 hours. So improving or maybe more than 3 hours, you may think about that. Improving the 3 hours in the food service industry and among the consumer remain a primary challenge. Is important. Reducing and recycling food waste is becoming an important discussion point of sustainability. We want to not to waste food and sustainable. Keep on not wasting food. Okay. Few studies have examined the recycle aspect of the 3R, yet a detailed focus on all three is required as a consumer food waste behavior. So far in the consumer food waste behavior, not many study, only a few study or no study. Or I mean, there's some study because we have published a few paper in this area. So there's at least a few paper in this area because we already published a few paper in this area. Next. Okay. Anticipate negative emotion and waste reduction behavior. Okay. Anticipate negative emotion has no significant influence on behavior to reuse recycle water and is not associated with environment behavior yet has a direct effect on recycle behavior of youth. So this is in our finding. This is our finding. We found that the negative emotion have no significant influence on the behavior of reuse the recycled water. Okay, and is not associated with the environmental behavior. Okay, but have a direct effect on the recycling behavior of youth. So the youth care more about it. Probably youth, the young people are not so well off, so they care about the waste. This the negative emotion. This negative emotion has significantly influenced the behavior of tourists. So tourists, interestingly, tourists they care about the negative emotion. This is amazing. This one is amazing. Amazing. Usually, we believe the local people will have a negative feeling, right? The tourists wasted, right? But now we found that the tourists have this the negative, significant negative emotion feeling on this food waste. All right. So this NNANG of guilty was found a positive influence. Young consumer waste reduction intention at tourist destination. So this is the young consumer, so they have a positive influence. So the young consumer will have this I mean will affect them more, especially at this tourist destination, tourist spot. Okay, so. Probably this is the young consumer, the young tourists, and the young local people in this tourist spot. Tourist spot, I think, is probably more expensive restaurant. So the young people, they are more care about this the negative behavior, negative emotion. According to the finding of the previous study, including our study, consumer intention to reduce food waste is positively related to their anticipate negative emotion as well as green behavior. Okay, so this is our finding. Okay, is the consumer intention uh, to reduce food waste. This is not the action, only intent. You intend to reduce the food waste. You haven't done yet. Just have the intention, but still better than do nothing. Still better than no intention. So the intention to reduce waste food is positively related to their negative emotion and green behavior. I follow all this. I'm a green behavior follower. Okay, next. The data used in this study was gathered from a sample in this, we got a sample, Pakistan. We have my colleague from, my golfer from Pakistan, they make this survey. Okay, so the age is from 18 to 32. Furthermore, this population sampling approach was used in the majority of the research work from the food center. Okay. So I mean we use this random sample the post. All right. So we collect this data. All right. Get the questionnaire to those the computer assist. We use website. We through in the internet we interview people to examine we set hypothesis. We set some hypothesis. Because short time, so we skip the hypothesis, skip the model. You can read our paper. We got a couple paper in this area. If you don't find it, can't find it, you let me know. I'll send the link to you. To examine the hypothesized model, we use the structural equation. This structural equation. The partial least square is not a complete least square. Partial least square structural equation model. We use this model to examine, analyze the data and get the conclusion. Next. Okay. So in this discussion, we found that the appropriate ways to reduce food waste is through reduction, reuse, and recycle. So how to reduce food waste? So first is reducing. You reduce the food wasting. Secondly is reuse. We try to reuse it. So you try to use it maybe to feed your dog, wherever to feed a pig, or feed sorry, no pig, sorry, feed the animal. And recycle. This is supposed to reduce the food waste. In spite of the food waste being recognized as some to be reduced, consumer food waste remain an important concern that has adverse effect on society. So this is important. This is to the society, to the country, and to the globally, to all the whole world. It's important issue. A lack of young consumer awareness about the consequence of the food waste, the habit of wasting, not feeling guilty about waste food, and lack of concern about the waste money as they waste food. All right. So this is lack of consumer awareness is very serious. So how to deal with the situation? So I think the easy way is education. Through the education, you can improve it. Or you can, I think also the politician should set a good example, so that this CEO, all the people doing well, start not wasteful, to show influence the layman, the young, especially the young people, because young people is eventually their carry on. If only the old people don't waste food, the young people waste food, next generation no hope. So the educate the young people is important. So you may want to okay. Any study, your funding is important. Also, the how to use it, the influence is important. Also, the policy making is important. One, we found that so the politicians should know what they should do, and the people, the leader also should tell the politicians what they should do. This is important. And also we should academic also develop a theory on the issue. The awareness of consequences is an important factor. Also the consequence. Government may want to fine people if they waste food. All right, or they don't hide them. If you waste food, they give you warning. If you are in government office, you're a government officer, no matter ranking, especially high ranking. If you waste food, we give you warning, and publicize it. Publish newspaper. This the director of the government director waste food so much. Publicly and privately. Okay, so we just use it. So this is good education, right? So if you can publish the issue, this especially the high-ranking one, right? The famous guy, he made food and come up with newspaper. I think this is a very good education. So the awareness is important. So we so far is no consequence. That's a problem. I want to waste food, I have money, I waste food. It's not your business. But government should make it's your business. Because you waste food, we'll punish you. We give you warning first. You still waste food, we fire you. Okay, that's good policy, right? Japan have this policy. If the government, the prime minister waste food, we set him, get another prime minister to have this thing. Not yet. It's good practice. We should start from the prime minister, not to waste food. Then people follow. So the consequence is important. How to waste food and how to reduce the food wastage and reuse. So all this is the government the leader of many organizations to encourage people, tell people how to reuse the food. Not the China way. China way is I'm not so sure you know the all. I'm not so sure it's true though, because sometimes they maybe people against China, so they say all the bad things. So but the news is very bad. So they say the oil from the drain, they just take it and resell it. This the five-star hotel also buy the reused oil. So I think China doing well for reusing. But I'm not so sure this is a good way to reuse, reuse. But anyway, reuse is good. So we reuse in a good way. The oil in the drain, I think, is not a bad idea, but not to be used in a human being. You can be used for the animal, right? Other thing. And recycle. All the recycle. Not only recycle the paper. I think in Taiwan is good practice. Any restaurant they have the collection of the food. You've not finished. They just let you do yourself. You put your food you haven't finished in the container. They will reuse it. They will reuse it. They'll recycle. Okay, next. Consumer being aware of the consequence of food waste. Okay, just nice. Just nice. Aware of the consequence of food waste on the environment and society, prefer to reduce food waste and feel guilty if not reduce waste. Contrary, more okay. Okay. So I think I just leave it to read. I mean, there are many. I have a couple papers in this area.
Mr. Wong Kim, PhD from Taiwan.
Basically from Wisconsin.
Thank you very much. Once again, give applause to Mr. Wong Kim. Okay, let's invite the next speaker, the fifth keynote speaker, Professor Sahrul Razi Sarmini, PhD from University Putra, Malaysia, in Tulung campus. The time is 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Master Sarmani. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Ya. Pertamanya mengucapkan terima kasih kepada we have the Egyptian civilization who once are very, very rich. They are very powerful, very rich, and I believe that they gave such influence to human civilization. Yeah? But however, all of this civilization is no longer here with us. Yeah? So due to what we call non-sustainable farming practices, where human population are increased, banyaknya manusia datang, and with human population, there are the incoming needs of food, coming needs of resources. Yeah? But however, due to unsustainable practices, in this particular civilization. So all civilizations have been collapsed, semuanya musnah kerana ketidakcukupan makanan dan resources sumber makanan yang semakin mengurang. Ya. So akhirnya this civilization collapse and then go to giving rise to other type of civilization. Yeah. So learning from this historical event, we know that it is very important, especially now, to cater our environment and to cater our country as well in terms of food security. Yeah. So of course, some countries are blessed with abundant resources. Some countries are not so much blessed in that particular area. But at the end of the day, we have to know these resources can be depleted if not managed carefully. Yeah. So that's why it's very important, especially now, due to many factors, due to geopolitics, due to climate change. Every country, every nation have to look into their food security strategies. Yeah. So I believe there's a welcoming talk by Wakil Kementerian Pertanian tadi. Bapak Presiden pun mengatakan pentingnya untuk kerajaan Indonesia to look into food security. Yeah? So this is the same with what happening in Malaysia as well. Yeah? Especially in Sarawak, the eastern part of Malaysia, we wanted to become the food security, food provider of the nation. Yeah? So currently in Sarawak, we can only provide about 30% of the food for Sarawak only. Yeah? But our head of the state, our premier, we call it Premier of Sarawak, so he wanted Sarawak state, the state of in East Malaysia, to be the frontier and to provide food for the country. Yeah? That's why we have this what we call KPI, Key Performance Index indicator, so that we can increase the food security up to at least 70% by 2030. Yeah? Next. Okay, so this is, I would say, it's quite alarming. Yeah? So why do we need sustainable agriculture? Kenapa kita memerlukan kalau dalam bahasa Melayunya pertanian mampan, ya? Mampan ataupun lestari, sustain, meaning that it's going to be sustained not for our generation, but also for the next generation. Yeah? So these are things that are happening now. First of all, increased pesticide usage by 26 times due to the demand of food, not just in particular country, in other countries as well. So we saw the rises of the usage of pesticide. Yeah? Pesticide is chemicals. It will also definitely disrupt our environment, disrupt our health as well, and of course disrupt our soil. And soil health is very important in order to maintain food security and sustainability. Yeah? And then we saw the polluted 48% in our streams and river. Yeah? Our water supply are becoming polluted. And then unsustainable agriculture practice leads to the loss of 12 million hectares of land. Yeah? So in agriculture, one of the most important elements of agriculture is soil. Yeah? So most of the time when we planted something, when we plant crops, the soil or the land that we are using at some point can become not healthy anymore, yeah? Due to massive usage or uptake of nutrients to grow trees or crops. So after sometimes it will not be arable, it's not healthy anymore. Yeah? So due to practices, unsuccessful practices by pesticide, insecticide, and so on, so we had foreseen that 12 million of hectares of land had led to desertification, yeah? Meaning that land had been used for all farm previously cannot be planted anymore. Yeah? So of course we need to have some strategy to revive the land and to make the land healthy again. Yeah? So if we look into this, by 2050, another 120 million hectares of natural habitats. Yeah? Habitats such as forestry, forest reserve, yeah? Our things that we want to conserve, for example, Indonesia, in Malaysia as well. So we are very rich in biodiversity, will have to be used for agricultural land. Yeah? So we can't escape that. We need to have agriculture for food security, but we need to have a sustainable strategy. Yeah. Next. Okay. So what is food security? Apakah dalam bahasa Melayu keterjaminan makanan? Ya? So apakah maksudnya? So Mula-mulanya kita akan berfikir keterjaminan makanan itu adalah where we think that we have plenty of food. When we look into our table, we have a lot of food. We are lucky, we are fortunate living in Southeast Asia. Food security is, I would say, it's not a problem so much. Yeah? So in compared to other continent, for example, African continent, yeah, we can see that a lot of food shortage, yeah, in other countries as well. But we are lucky, we still have food that we can consume and readily available. Yeah? So what are the definition? Apakah definisi sebenar food security? In order for a country or a nation to be regarded as a food security nation, they need to have four elements. The first thing is availability, meaning that the foods are always available. The second one is food accessibility, meaning that in order for a person to use the food, they can easily access the food, disregarding their status, disregarding their race, religion, and so on, or their status, like for example, whether they are elitists, whether they are from the poor. Yeah, so everyone has access to certain availability of food. Yeah. Number three is stability, meaning that the food prices, for example, are stable. Yeah, meaning that even though there are some wars going on, some conflict in the country, but the food prices are remain the same. Not so much. Of course, there are hikes, but not so much influences by any other factors such as wars and conflicts. Yeah? And of course, food utilization, meaning that the food that we have, raw food, we can utilize whatever we want. Yeah? For example, we have paddy, we can convert it into other product. Flour, we can convert it into cookies, starch, and so on. Yeah? So this is the pillars of food security. Yeah? It's not just availability, but also encompassing accessibility, utilization, and stability. Next. Okay, so this is what have been charted by by Sarawak State, the state in Malaysia. So they had provided what they call key performance index for a country to have this blueprint, to have this key performance index to become state that are prosper and develop. Sarawak, negeri Sarawak maju makmur by 2030. Yeah, so this is our blueprint, especially in terms of agriculture. The state would like to increase the self-sufficiency level (SSL). Yeah, as I've mentioned before, currently our SSL is 30%, 32%. Yeah, so we want to increase up to at least 70% by 2030. Yeah, and of course, we want to become a food exporter. Being in Sarawak, in Borneo, for example, we want to export the food that we have in access to maybe neighboring countries such as Kalimantan, Brunei, or in all over Asia. Okay? So that is our KPI. And also,
Sorry, there is
Problem. Okay. Ya, ya. Tidak mungkin langsung. Ya, ini di kampung. Mereka tahu.
okay, thank you very much. Yeah. So, and then finally, we want to have 100% certified food that we export should be certified, yeah, for food supply. Yeah? So, these are the three KPIs that the government have given to related agencies and also to university as well, University Putra Malaysia. Yeah? Next. Okay, so of course in our university, we had University Putra Malaysia is known for the only university that focused on agriculture. And so we wanted to be a champion on agriculture since the beginning of the formation of University Putra Malaysia, or formerly known as University Putra Malaysia. Yeah? So last year we had come up with keterjaminan makanan, ya. Keterjaminan makanan meaning that a blueprint of what we going to do achieve, so that it will follow up the government aspiration. Yeah. Next. Okay, so this is about Agri Hub at Pidong, Agriculture Hub at Pidong. So basically, it is a paddy transformation project. Yeah? So in Sarawak, most of the paddy practices are done in smallholder, in small businesses, household businesses. Yeah, doesn't involve so much modern practices. Are still doing traditionally. Yeah? So what we wanted to achieve is that rice production to become okay, and of course, to look into to make sure the project will be a success is by uh, working together with the planters. Yeah. So the planters, as mentioned previously, the planters in Luwak Pongo are very much traditional. They are aging community without incorporating any traditional, any modern techniques. Yeah. So semuanya menggunakan kaedah-kaedah yang tradisional dan manual level. Yeah. Of course, it is tiring and it's very time consuming. Yeah. So when we do a survey and also we work together with the community, these are the problems that we have to tackle. Next.
1 minute.
Yes. Okay, so these are the things that we look into when we see a practices. So most are very traditional. Of course, the losses are very high, about 50% losses from the paddy itself. Yeah. So this is something that we need to do in order for us to increase the productivity. So we need to intervene. Yeah? Previously, the productivity is like about 1 ton per hectare. So our KPI is about 8 ton per hectare. Yeah? So Alhamdulillah, we had planted 3 times. We had, looking into that direction, we had successfully planted about 5 ton per hectare. Yeah? So very tremendous success comparing to the previous one. Yeah. Next. Okay, so these are some of the practices that we done in the community with the community. Next. Okay, we're using drone technology as well. Next. Okay, so these are some of the product ataupun what you call the success that we have. Okay, so previously the community had only able to harvest but 1 ton per hectare of paddy. So with our intervention using technology, using some good agriculture practice, we can increase up to 5 ton per hectare of paddy. Yeah? Next. Okay, so this is very important picture. So our project had been supported by the Premier of Sarawak, the head of Sarawak, also our Vice Chancellor as well, University Putra Malaysia Vice Chancellor, also with the community. Yeah, so this is the moment where we first harvested our paddy, witnessed by our Premier, the head of state of Sarawak. With that, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, it was a presentation for Mr. Sukro Rasul Santini, PhD. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue for the sixth keynote speaker. That is Professor Haja Muhaina binti Pengiran Haji Hashim from Universitas Islam Sultan Salim Ali, Brunei Darussalam.
One and only. One and only.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu. As 19 November, Kolaka for organizing this international conference on food security with a very significant theme, the global challenges to end world hunger and to achieve global wellness. And I'm really honored to have this opportunity to address the distinguished gathering here today. I believe the international conference on this security relevant and provides an opportunity for all of us to discuss crucial food security concerns, including the need for global commitment to prioritize food production and maintain food supply sufficiency. So with the title, The Importance of Halal on Taiwan Products in Addressing Challenges to Global Wellness, focusing on the food security and also food safety. Inshallah, next slide. This will be the content of my slides. Oh, something wrong? Okay, never mind. Just start with the introduction. So for the introduction, let me touch a little bit on the world population and the global food production. So according to United Nations, the world population is projected to reach 8.5 million in 2030. So, and it will continue to increase thereafter. As such, world food production will have increased by 75% over the next 30 years in order to ensure adequate food supply. So, Food Security Information Network and Global Network Against Food Prices in their global reports on food prices 2024 stated that the prevalence of moderate or severe food insecurity in the global level SDG indicator 2.1.2 remain unchanged. And in 2023, 281.6 million people or 21.5% of the analysis population face high levels of acute food security. So upon, next slide please. So upon examining specific areas, it is evident that the significant contributor is food insecurity in developing and least developed countries is the decline in food production. Although this decline can be attributed to various factors that vary from one country to another, influenced by difference in physical and socio-economic conditions. Among the major constraints are the lack of suitable land, water scarcity, access of rural people in the cities, inefficient technology, and poor incentive given to the agricultural activities. So these factors have undermined the capabilities of farmers and to produce the food. Confronted of this problem, the lack of increasing agricultural productivity will not be easy, and these countries have to resort to import or rely on food aid program to make up their deficit. Next slide, please. So food security and food safety in Islam. So as a universal religion, Islam recognizes the necessity of sustainable food security and also food safety for all mankind. So although the Quran does not directly address modern concept of food security, as that food is divine gift, help foster gratitude, humanity, and sense of responsibility in both individuals and societies to ensure equitable access to resources. And one of the verse is verse 10 from Surah An-Nahl, A'udhu Billahi Minasyaitanir Rajim, وَالَّذِي أَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً لَكُمْ مِنْهُ شَرَابٌ وَمِنْهُ شَجَرٌ وَفِيهِ تُسِيمُونَ. So it is He who sends down rain from the sky. From it is spring, and from it is foliage in which you pasture animals. This is from Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah An-Nahl, verse 10. So another verse from Surah An-Nahl, verse 118, where Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, فَكُلُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ حَلَالًا طَيِّبًا وَاشْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ إِيَّاهُ تَعْبُدُونَ. Then eat of what Allah has provided for you, which lawful and good, and be grateful for the favor of Allah, if it is indeed Him that you worship. This is from Surah An-Nahl, verse 114. So this Surah An-Nahl, verse 114, emphasizes food safety and healthy, focusing on halal and tayyib food. It encourages Muslims to choose lawful, pure, and beneficial food, fulfilling their Islamic duty to protect their well-being. Next slide, please. So talking about the relation between food production and food security and also food safety. So food production, food security, and food safety are interconnected components of a healthy and sustainable food system. While each other has their own focus, they are deeply interrelated and influence one another in various ways. So food production actually plays a significant role in food safety, where the way food is produced should impact its safety, where the practices, the conditions, the measures that ensure the food is safe to eat and also free from harmful contaminants, whether it's from biological, chemical, or physical, and meet quality standards. So it focuses on preventing foodborne illnesses as well as hazard at every stages of the food chain from farm to table. So for example, improper use of pesticides, fertilizers, or antibiotics in result in chemical residue in food. Poor agricultural practices can also increase the likelihood of contamination by pathogens, bacteria like E. coli or Salmonella. Okay, so food production is in the heart of both food security and also food safety. Ensuring the food production system are sustainable, efficient, and safe is essential to meeting the need of the current and future population. Next slide, please. Okay, so when it comes to explain about the food resources and the food products from the halal science perspective, as requested to me by the organizer, so let me explain. It is actually focusing, so they must be cultivated in a clean, hygiene environment and should not expose to harmful chemical or non-halal pesticides. While other example for animal-based resources, the meat of poultry, it must come from animals that are slaughtered accordance with Islamic law, or the animal must be slaughtered by Muslim who is sound mind using a sharp knife and phrase Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Next, please. So this slaughter, next slide. Okay. Oh, before. Again, before. Okay. Oh, this is not the updated. It's okay. So, okay. Next slide. So for the halal food production, the process of producing and processing food in halal manner involves ensuring all the ingredients, equipments, and practices are in line with Islamic principles of purity, hygiene, and ethics. So for these topics, it also includes halal food certification and traceability. For the purpose of halal certification is actually involved a rigorous process of inspection and auditing by Islamic certification bodies to ensure that all stages of food production from raw materials to packaging comply with the halal standard. While traceability ensure that the halal food product can be tracked throughout the production process to verify the compliance with halal standard from farm to table. For example, ingredients like gelatin, enzymes, and another food additives used in the food processing have to be derived from halal animal resources. Next slide, please. Okay. So the importance of halal Taiwan products in addressing challenges to global wellness. So this topic is actually has gained significant attention in recent years, particularly in the world faces increasing concern about health, sustainability, and ethical consumption. So halal Taiwan product as well can play a significant role in addressing several of the challenges currently facing global wellness. So halal dietary law ensure that the food free from harmful substances, focusing on the cleanliness and purity, as well as to avoid artificial additives, preservatives, and harmful chemicals, avoid ingredients that are known to be harmful health effects, such as trans fat, artificial sweeteners, or genetically modified organisms. These actually can help mitigate the rise of diet-related health problems such as obesity, diabetes, and also cardiovascular diseases, reduce the risk of contamination, foodborne diseases and adulteration. When the halal food industry, with a rigorous standard for hygiene, traceability, and transparency, it plays a significant role in ensuring the food products meet high standard and safety and quality across global supply chain. So this is particularly important in preventing food shortages, waste, or contaminations that could harm global food security. Next slide, please. Okay, in Brunei, the government placed the top priority for food production. Our series of 5-year national development plans have given strong emphasis to the utilizations of countries' resources to increase domestic food production, revitalize the rural economy, and stimulate a sustainable industrial development. Our strategy is to mitigate overdependence on external sources of food supply. And Alhamdulillah, since 1996, Brunei farmers have been able to produce more than can supply food for the population. So the agricultural sectors in Brunei, though small in comparison to other industries, has been growing steadily, and the government is making effort to enhance food security, self-sufficiencies, and sustainability within the agricultural sectors. For example, in rice production, rice is one of Brunei main agricultural focuses in the country, striving for greater self-sufficiency in rice production. So Brunei used to rely heavily on the imports, but in the recent years, the Brunei has increased investment to local rice farming, particularly through project and scheme. So these initiatives aim to boost rice production in Brunei and make it more self-sufficient in rice by promoting the expansions of rice field. Okay, next slide, please. Oh, okay. Next slide, please. Okay. So for the fishery sectors, Brunei realized the importance of marine catches to supply food. Fish and fishery products are the major source of protein. The country is one of the highest per capita consumers of fish in the world, and as a result, government has taken steps to ensure continuing supply both from marine catches and imports. In addition to that, Brunei has a number of advantages such as clean and unpolluted environment, absence of typhoons, and rich with pristine mangrove that provide breeding and nursery ground for fish. So the two main aquaculture in Brunei are shrimp aquaculture and fish aquaculture, namely Nila tilapia, Lentis carifer, and hybrid Orichromys are the major aspect culture in ponds. Next slide, please. Yeah, next slide, please. So I think I just skipped this one. This is just an overview of the halal food industry in Brunei, where we started the enforcement of halal certificate and halal level order 2005 in 2017, in 2008. Sorry. Next slide, please. So it is mandatory for halal food production to have the halal certification for restaurants, business that deal with halal products, such as restaurants, food manufacturers, retailers, and caterers, required to obtain halal permit in Brunei Darussalam. The halal permit, which allows businesses to legally sell, to distribute, and to serve halal certified products. So businesses must apply to the Halal Food Control Division and the Ministry of Religious Affairs, Kementerian Haluan Agama in Brunei Darussalam. So the business premises will be inspected to ensure that they are following the halal guidelines, the halal standard, and also the halal requirements. So once the application and inspection is successfully completed, so the businesses will be issued by a halal permit, issued by the Islamic Religious Control Brunei as the only one halal certifying body in Brunei Darussalam. Next slide. Excuse me. Okay. They make it pass, inshallah. So these are the critical control point to ensure the halalness or the halalan Taiwan product in order to successfully get the halal certifications. So there are 6 criteria. It does not contain any part of the animal prohibited by Hukum Syara to consume, and also it must be the slaughter must be according to Hukum Syara. Does not contain any part of human bodies. Does not contain anything impure or shubha in accordance to Hukum Syara, and it also has to be prepared using an instrument free from anything that contaminated with the impure najis or any shubha. And also it must not cause injuries to health, and it fits for human consumption. Next slide, please. I'm almost finished. Okay. So this is just showing that the Brunei Darussalam halal policy standards and regulation ecosystem framework, where Brunei's halal policy standards and regulation ecosystem provides a clear and structured framework, not just for ensuring that products and services meet Islamic dietary and ethical requirements. It also involves several regulatory bodies and authorities that oversee halal certification, compliance, and the enforcement. Next slide. Okay. So in the conclusion, food security, food safety, and halal food production must comply with Sharia law, always aligned with Islamic teachings. So these principles are deeply rooted in Islam's ethical framework, emphasizing that food should not only safe and healthy, but also pure, ethical, and sustainable. Last but not least, it is indeed our responsibility to protect and preserve our religion, our life, our lineage, our intellect, and also our wealth. And consuming halal and Thai products play a crucial role in safeguarding this essential aspect of our lives. So in Islam, by adhering to the halal Thai guidelines in our consumption, we are actually protecting the core pillars, which turns help us leads to live in alignment with Islamic teaching, and also contribute to the success in the hereafter. Alhamdulillah, that's all from me. Thank you very much. Last but not least, all right. So my big thank you and congratulations to the organizer for the hard work, for the hospitality. I hope whatever sharing for today will benefit to all and to Ummah. On behalf of UNISA, we are actually looking forward to further our collaboration in the near future. Aqulu qawla hadza wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum wa billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. One pantun. One pantun from me. Dari Brunei ke Jakarta. Dari Kendari ke Kolaka. Sukar diungkap dengan kata-kata. Kenangan bersama USN Kolaka.
Thank you very much for Professor Ajar Muhammad. The questions we have not talked about only sustainable, but also be concerned about how quality. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we continue our session. We would like to call the last keynote speaker from Universitas Sumatera Utara, Professor Muhammad Rasul, PhD.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. We are now we stand of the hunger, but I will speed up my presentation in just 10 minutes. But first of all, like thank to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala for this blessing to attend this conference. Secondly, I would like to thank Pak Yodang for invitation, Pak Rektor, USK and USN. So for the hospitality and the inviting us. So I would like to share our recent research on the blue food sources from mangrove forest and their benefit to community. Actually, I'm from the Center of Excellence for Mangrove, so not only food but also for the medicine. I will share for our recent research. Next, please. So why mangroves? Maybe most of you don't know about the mangrove, but I will highlight briefly. Mangrove provided a lot of ecosystem services, so we focus in the left-hand side for me and the professional services relating to this conference about the food and the medicine, but also mangrove provided for cultural services and this for the aesthetic and also for the spiritual. But now maybe Indonesia has the important role for the regulating services as a carbon stocks and for the carbon credit implemented in the next future. But I didn't talk about this. Next, please. So the ecosystem service relating to the sustainable development goals, various different goals relating to the mangrove from the and the hunger also relating to this, how mangrove provided for the livelihood and the environmental influence. Next slide, please. And one thing also, mangrove store 3 to 5 carbon stock compared to the terrestrial forest. So double storage. So this is also important in terms of climate change and global warming. So in Indonesia is the home of the largest mangrove area in the world, consisting 20 to 21% mangrove world. Next slide. And also this is I mentioned professionally important. So next, please. Next one, please. So this is also our concern that the mangrove getting lost globally. So not only for the land use change cover, but also for the illegal logging and also for the development. They converted mangrove to the oil palm plantation, coconut plantation, and also for the ponds. But we also concerned that mangrove are important to our life. Next one, please. So in this conference, I want to talk about how the mangrove is important for valuable genes, useful chemical, right, biodiversity in the term of the food, medical, agriculture, and industrial sector. Next one, please. So this is a part of our research. We made a systematic review, not only in Indonesia, in the world, that mangrove contributed to the sources of food and medicinal properties. Next one, please. So we gathered a lot of database, and finally we have 31 eligible for the next analysis, and this is a part of the type of the publication from proceeding, journal, and book chapter of book and some reports. Next slide, please. So the key information is for the nutrient, antioxidant, and also sulfur of nutrient and other parts. And important also ecotourism. The ecotourism fishery provided by mangrove for the coastal community, and also source of medicine. This is very important. We now on the way to produce drug discovery from the mangrove for collateral cancer treatment. Next slide, please. This is some part also for the tea we produce in our society. Tea from mangrove, coffee from mangrove, syrup from mangrove, and also cracker for mangrove from the community, coastal community. So important not only for the climate change, but also for their livelihood increasing. Next slide, please. So this is next. I skip this one. This is an example of our product. product in North Sumatra. So various products to support their life and also to maintain and conserve the forest. In terms of CCBS, climate, community, biodiversity standard proposed by FERA certification, this is part of the important. We don't talk only about the carbon credit, but also how the community benefited from the mangrove, intangible and tangible and tangible benefits from the mangrove. Next slide, please. This is the maybe in fortunately, Alhamdulillah, yesterday I also went around the Kolaka and found some mangrove that is important for our next collaboration with us. That is important not only to maintain the mangrove but also to give some benefit to the local community. So there are so many processes. I think we ate shrimp, crabs, fish surrounded by the mangrove. Next slide, please. Also, important thing from the mangrove that we produce several genes that may be in the next future important for our life. Next. There are so many genes actually in the mangrove that important for the salinity stress, but maybe we don't know in the future it's important for next functional food from the mangrove. Next slide. Several functional, but this is we need further investigation of this funding. Next slide, please. Next slide. I skip this one. Next slide. So now only for the salinity stress, but maybe in the future, why they can withstand and survive under such kind of extreme hypersalinities and also normal salinities. Maybe it's difficult if we can find some isolate gene that useful for the next generation. Next slide, please. Next, I skip this one. We also found many mangrove species important for the functional foods derived from the fruits, leaf, and some part of the mangrove. Next, we concentrated into small island. Is like now is a suffer from the climate change in we call Pulau Sembilan in nearby North Sumatra province. Next slide. So we categorize a lot of from the sample from the leaves that potential for functional food to support food security and food ability, because surrounded coastal, they know that they can utilize mangrove. Therefore, we make sure that the food provided by mangrove is safe to consume. Next slide, please. I skip this one. Skip this one also. Skip. This is how we categorize the leaf and the roots for the some function for the next genes or next for the next generation consumption. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is the scientific material. So the second talk about the possibility of the mangrove compound as the anti-cancer and antimicrobial. So this is also important that mangrove not only ecological function but also important for the medicinal properties. Next slide, please. Next. So we actually a lot of keywords we found for this study from our compound polysopronide and also terpenoids important to support for the anti-cancer colorectal cancer especially. Next slide, please. So a lot of species. Indonesia as the home of the largest mangrove species also contain more than 45 species. So a lot of species has possibility for the anti-cancer, and we focus in Avicennia marina and also Lipa fruticans. Next slide, please. This is also, I skip one next. This is where our target also from Avicennia alba. Several genes are important for the anti-colorectal cancer possibility. Just we study of the computerized using docking and how the possibility modulation of this component. Next slide. So this is how we find several genes from the Avicennia alba and overlap this one for the target. We analyze by molecular docking and molecular dynamic simulation, hub gene and PPI network to get the potential drugs from the marine science. Next slide, please. We actually found at least 10, but the unique is 61, and the highlighted 10 and the top ranker for the hub gene. This is from the first Venn diagram 61. Next slide, please. So we actually, this is the candidate after sequence toward the top 3 potential target, because there is strong interaction between the valuable compound of Avicennia alba. Next slide, please. So this is the data for the simulation, mostly equivalency for the potential for the next drug from mangrove. Next slide. Next slide, please. So I tried to draw how actually the tangible and intangible benefit from the artificial intelligence. Right? This is maybe our next future, how the mangrove harmony with the people. So they can harvest from the biota, crabs, fish, and the stream, and how they maintain the mangrove like this, and also the simulation actually. But the current situation also like this in some part. In Sumatra, so we have the project also in Lombok, similar like this. So how the community benefited from the mangrove, either tangible or intangible benefits. Next slide, please. In the end, I would like to thanks to Universitas Sumatera Utara, Universitas 19 Kolaka for this opportunity, providing travel cost and also accommodation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this presentation. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was the discussion with some presentations from our distinguished speakers with very interesting topic about how we can foster sustainability and innovation to fight world hunger and to achieve global wellness. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before moving to the next session, we would like to inform that there will be an event from Professor Haji Muhaira to give souvenir or a gift for our beloved rector of Sindang University. Please. Stationery rulers. Once again, give applause. Well, ladies and gentlemen, little bit information before moving to the parallel sessions. Actually, the book for international conference last year is already done here and then already distributed. But the print is not enough. but we can share the link of ebook of this book. So for the participant for last year, please contact the committee for getting the ebook of this book for last year. I see 2023. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before moving to the next agenda, parallel sessions, now we want to go to the next session that is coffee break. So please enjoy the coffee break for the participants of the coffee break and also the business. Have a lunch first. After this, we go to the downstage to join parallel session. For the participants, please stay tuned after lunch.